Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We're on episode 390 today, starting our final push to finish Small Victories this month. I am traveling next week. I am not going to be coloring next week because it's going to be just too much action-packed. I'm going to be flying. I won't have room for pencils, let alone my little book. I do have some finishing of black possible that I may bring the book in my black India ink Faber-Castell Pitt pen. We'll see. So in the meantime, we are on probably the final big page. This has 20 different little images. There is a 16 image page coming right here. So that will be the official final big page, but this one is the biggest. So we've got 20 sets of pencils. I was at exercise class on Monday, and my one of my fellow Zumba dancers, Terry, walked in with the most perfect, cute yoga pants. So I asked if I could use her yoga pants as inspiration for my next page I was coloring in. She said sure, so she let me snap a picture of her. I will bring that picture up. It's going to be on one side or the other of this screen, and I'm going to pop in my little mock-up here of the first row. So here is my first row. I'm going to be going vertically so that I can hopefully finish at least one row per day. I will be pushing to complete these very quickly, so I set some criteria to make the coloring really fast, and I will be logging keywords on how the pencils feel. We have a really crazy array of pencils to be used, which always makes it fun. And I knew that the very first pencil set was going to be like the limiting factor, and that is, it is the 50 pastels set, the Macarons from Brutfuner. So when I saw her image, which the image should be probably right here to cover our this is my uncolored copy of Small Victories. So basically, I used the image that you will see here of her beautiful yoga pants, and then we have the Brutfuner pastels here, the macarons as they're called, and I have chosen these 5 pencils. I am allowing embellishing to be at a minimum black. I want to possibly do a black background, and then I have one additional possible embellishing color that I will possibly add to this page. So I've got the first 5 sets chosen. You can see that across the board, I'm going to give you the first 5 sets of pencils that we are going to use. They are the Brutfuner Macarons. For whatever reason, my random number generator came up with the Brutfuner Neons. In the numbered list, these two are very far apart. My numbered list is not in alphabetical order. It is actually in the order that I purchased them in. The Neons and the Fluorescence, the Fluorescence and the Metallics were probably my most recent pencil acquisitions. Then we have the Berol Prismacolor, circa 1986. Notice how deep and vibrant they are compared to the very bright neon-y colors compared to the pastel colors. And then I have Prang right below the Berol Prismacolor. See how kind of faint and soft they are, followed by the Derwent Lightfast. So when we get to each of these sets, I am going to share a little bit about each of the set as I'm going along, but I will be coloring very quickly. So I hope I remember the couple of different tidbits that I wanted to talk about that are just kind of generic things about the pencils. I know that I have colored, I'm on rotation 8, I believe, which means I have colored through round 7 every single pencil that I've owned. Some of them are newer, like the neons and the metallics are new, but most of these pencils have been used in Small Victories at least 7 other times. In order to make this work, I'm going to be upside down because of the way the clipboard is and the height. I've got my Canson. I talked about a recommendation by a subscriber, or a commenter, I should say, to be more accurate, to add some thick, like a magazine or something. So I have my Canson multimedia pad underneath the side so that the spine is nice and straight and I have a hard, even surface to work on without dealing with the spine. I'm going to zoom in and we're just going to get started. So yes, my goal is this page needs to be finished in no more than 4 days. If I can do it in less than 4 days, that would be even better. But I have to color so quickly, I just don't know, being a slow colorist for the most part. So there, we've zoomed all the way in, and of course the center of this flower immediately has mustard is the color, and it is color number B1165. The other places I'm going to use the mustard. So I had to think outside the box because the colors, as you see, most of these images have leaves. We do have some butterflies and such that can handle kind of the pastel-y array of colors. However, there's no green, and we have leaves on most of these flowers, so I am going to enjoy the challenge of simulating or creating my own sort of a green hue. I don't necessarily want to go all in with green, but I definitely need the leaves to look somewhat leafy, I think, to pull this off. So we'll see how it goes. This was the darkest blue that we had available to us in the pastels. It is called Norse Blue 233. Again, it is the Brutfuner colored pencil. These might look very suspiciously close to Holbein because they pretty much everybody says they are a Holbein knockoff. And they are a fantastic pencil to work with. I own enough Holbeins now to say that these are a little different feel. They're a little bit, I guess, softer. A very fast pencil to work with. There are, of all of the Brutfuner sets that I have, which I own the 520 flower boxes, the 120 squares, the metallics, the neons, and the 50 set of the pastels, and these are my favorite. They're one of the first. I bought the squares first. Love those. My mom has the 180 that is the same basic. They're a round color barrel, but they are in essence the same as the squares. So I've used my mom's when I traveled there. Over the summer, I used that 180 set, and it was also, they're probably my favorite overall as far as a budget pencil goes. And so I am just coming in here. I've already got some random placement of the mustard on the leaves. This is the lighter blue. The lighter blue is, oh, did I just say Norse blue? The lighter blue is Capri, and it's actually a little bit of a blue-green, turquoise-ish aqua. Capri 211. I do own 2 sets of these. I own a very old set, and when I bought the newer set, the color numbers and some of the names have changed. And I do have, I don't know if I've posted my differences. I have a video, and I will try to remember to link that video that talks about the differences. I do think that I bought, it's just a snapshot in time of how things were at that moment for the lot that I bought. There could be many more changes that has happened with the set since I got my set. So just be aware that if you buy them, and here I am giving you color numbers and names, that they might not correspond with your set. That is the most important part. So the last thing to do are the pinks, and the darkest pink is Carmine Rose B0737. I have the feeling that this page will look more pastel-y than not. We have like the Prismacolor, the Berol Prismacolor, and the Lightfast are all in this first row. I haven't looked ahead too much to, you know, think about balancing, or I just went with the using the yoga shorts, using those colors. The yoga shorts, of course, have the black, and I am going to use that black as India ink on the page, which actually makes it a 6th color technically. And then if I add the final embellishing I am contemplating, that will be a 7th color, but that isn't actually a color. It's like a treatment, a blingy finish. So since I will be pressing on to get through next week's filming ahead of time, processing and scheduling, I won't be able to finish the whole page. I will get all of the coloring done, and depending on how fast or slow I am, I might get a chance to do a little bit of the black. And that's the thing I might bring with me next week, is the black. I will have a laptop with me, which means that if there is anything significant to note, I could definitely pop in with a video, an image, something next week. I'll probably pop in and share. I will be heading to Raleigh for the Stampin' Up! On Stage annual, it's actually twice yearly, convention that they have. It's the second time I will have attended a Stampin' Up! Convention. I went to Orlando for their 30th anniversary on stage, pre-COVID. All right, so I can't get the blues too much darker, I don't think. I'm going to go ahead and take and do some swirls with this Norse blue, which is the darkest. I'm going to try to do my best to get any sort of shadowing in here before I move on. All right, so I did do an intro for this segment, and the intro will eat up some of my coloring time. All right, significant, these are my neons. They are not sharpened. I am going to just press on. I am not going to sharpen them. You can see that the color tones are just very different than what I just finished. I'm just going to proceed. I'm not going to give you the color names for all of these, but I will have them all in the description, as I always do. So here's what they all look like. These are a beautiful pencil. They're the most unique, glossy, with love the vibrant blue metallic foily numbers and names, and the branding Brutfuner, and on the back is the number and the color, and then fluorescent colored pencils, and they are pretty lovely looking, very striking. Again, they are soft, they are creamy. I'm not sure if they are what anybody would call oil versus waxy based. They do feel quite soft, a little bit creamier than the Brutfuner squares and the 520 flower boxes, which I know are the kind of an oily based pencil. And these feel a lot like the pastels as well. very ironic that they are together on the sort order. I didn't have a lot of options for the aqua blue, so this looks quite green, but it really isn't as green. I'm looking at my little cheat sheet. Yeah, it's pretty aqua. Very limited color palette to choose from. This is a 50 set. I would definitely say don't use it as your main. You will have to use it as an added set. I ended up deciding I wanted metallic. I had wanted metallics for a while because I like the mica feel. And then I did a page. I've only done one page with neons, and it used the 3 sets. It was a 3-up page with 3 images, and I owned 3 neons, well, sets with enough neons that I could make a completed image. And so it made me want to buy them. So, of course, Brutfuner is a favorite of mine. I found a great price on Temu, and so I do have an unboxing for this as well. Most of my pencils, if they've been purchased fairly recently, I do unboxings. But some of the pencils I own I've had for quite some number of years. We are actually going to be hitting one of those. The last set we will use today, I have owned for many, many years. Again, skipping giving you the names, they will be in the description. I am going to shadow as much as I can so I get some contrast. Nice. I'm doing my best to make it colored interesting. A couple of these will be really bright, but who knows what the other 3 rows, we have 3 rows left. Okay, so there's the leaves. I like the mustardy color and even this yellowy color, making the leaves pop with some green. They don't look terrible at all. The copy paper version, I did mock up some of these, and those did not look as nice. The Johanna Basford paper is definitely helping me. Third set, we're on to 1986 pencils. To date myself, that is the year I graduated high school. And I have a video on these pencils as well, and why I bought them. Oh my gosh, I just colored that whole thing and you didn't see it. Oh, wow. Okay, so sorry. I haven't done that in like forever. Okay, so there's that one. And before I even color the next one, which is nice and big, I'm gonna make sure you can see it. Oh, if I haven't lost you already, again, I apologize. So we have our mustardy color. I own 50, 51 maybe. I had 2 that I bought right outside of high school. I was actually a fine art major at a community college. I won an art scholarship from what's called the Edmonds Arts Festival. Anybody in that area might have heard of it. It's a very big art festival in the Pacific Northwest. I lived in Linwood, one town away, up on the hill. Edmonds is a waterfront, Puget Sound town. So we've got, that's my darker blue. This is my tealy color. I'm going to go ahead and edge a little bit with this outline. Let's see, you can still see. Hey, that's great. Like I said, I am so focused on wanting to just keep pressing forward on these pages as I try to finish up. I'm going to have to still maintain my focus. Boy, these are older. They are softer than Prismacolor. They are not all the way. This one is not as sharpened as the other four. And they are like coloring with crayons. Not my favorite pencils, but because back in 1986 I bought 2 of them for a college, well, it was actually a side gig. I was going to school. I had a couple of jobs. I've always been a multiple job person. And then I was working as a paste up artist for a company who made the first ads on the back of receipts from the grocery store. And maybe it's just local to our area that this company was the first. So I was a paste up artist, and they got me a connection to another business partner person who was looking at creating a coupon book for groceries, I think. And he picked a couple of colors for me to create the mock-up. He picked green and so it was magenta and a green, but not this bluey green. And so I bought those 2 pencils, and I still had them when I went back in August to bring our stuff out of storage, pack it in pods to be relocated to Florida. Oh, so no, the pink is really nice. I'm able to like smush it and make it do nice things, and I'm gonna get some shading and some nice highlights going. Very nice. This is the only peach, it's called blush, right? Yeah. Only soft pink, so I didn't have a lot of choices since I only had 61 pencils. So I had to have these. I don't want to be a collector of old pencils, but I wanted to also have enough pencils to make those 2 pencils that I had that were almost new usable. All right, so now I might try. These are way darker on here than on the copy paper as well. I want more green to show through, so I am taking this gold and I'm using medium to heavy pressure, and I am trying to get rid of the crayon look, and I think I am succeeding. All right, that's the end of that one. I was curious if I could get more than 5 done in the time frame. Our next set is going to be a completely opposite experience, and I will remember. I'm going to actually flip the other way. I am liking using the Canson multimedia pad underneath. Thank you for the fine tip. I think I've had a couple people tell me that, and I finally actually did it. All right, so here we are. Flower number 4. And it is going to be, like I said, a completely different experience. Here's my, oops, let's flip it. I hate when I do that. All right, here's our colors. They are, the barrels are not that much lighter. The barrels are about the same. Colors are going to be totally different. I might not tell you the set yet. I'm going to color with it for a minute. I'm going to talk about it, how it feels. I'm not sharpening, I'm just leaving them. They're all, this is a new set. They've been used very minimal. And again, I will reveal all of that as I finish up. They feel fairly soft. At least this is the first color, this mustardy yellow. And I'm going to do my shadow blue. I can hear these a little bit, implying that they are a little bit drier. They are going down more pigmented. So they do well on the Johanna Basford paper compared to copy paper. I feel like this week and this month is going to be kind of like the finishing of the year, and a bunch of big goals are being achieved this month. And that summer is coming. We're past winter. And even though next week is quote-unquote a vacation week per se, it still is like a work week, because Stampin' Up! Is my other channel, and that's a job that I do. It is how I pay for my crafting supplies. It has basically funded the whole switching over to coloring. So it's not really a vacation. I'm going to have fun with friends, my card making friends, and it will be a blast. I am sure. Going back to the yellow, again, trying to get a little bit of green going. Oh, I'm going to have to plug in my phone. I noticed that the extra light... Oh, and I just shook the thing. Sorry about that. All right, so in a minute, I will be able to put the flash back on. There we go. I'm glad I caught that. Okay, so let's go to pink. We have what appears to be a brighter pink. I'm going to put in some shadowy bits here. I love this flower. This is a very pretty flower. Yeah, I'm looking at the 3 I've done already, and this is the favorite. Okay, getting my lighter pink. I didn't have a good light pink as an option, so I'm going with, as you can see, kind of a fleshy color. I got to put the flash back on it. So this is going to look a little bit different. We're getting some nice blending. Still a little bit on the dry side. I am actually going to tell you now, I think that the pigment is equitable to the other 4 in real life. Now I'm looking through the camera, and it actually does not look as bright as it looks in real life. So I'm going to go in here because I think I can get more pigment payout. Heavy pressure required to have this work. I am not sure if these are wax or oil based. Okay, let's see. So I'm showing you a little bit of each flower. Berol Prismacolor up at the top here. Very pigmented, and you're seeing the leaves, which are the brightest color. And then these are the prangs. They've always impressed me. They continue to surprise me. We just used them today. Today was this week was coloring class week. So we had class, or the meetings as I call them, yesterday and today. we are wrapping up. That's the other thing that's winding down. The season is just about over here in our community, which is an RV resort community, so it's definitely a vacation-y vibe in the winter with lots and lots of extra activities, lots of golf carts, and just stuff going on all the time. And that is almost over. I'm looking forward to summer when I can relax and raise my kitten. All right, so I'm going to make sure I move this. I'm just trying to get more vibrancy here and finish out these leaves, and then we're going to move on to the next set of flowers, which is also a pretty set. But the flowers, all 4 sets so far, even with using neon and pastels, I still see a cohesive looking page. I've noticed I'm leaving a little bit of white on my flowers for some highlights. Because the colors are so soft, I think I need the white, totally white, to get some contrast. Okay, so that finishes up the Praying, and that's a 50 set. This set specifically I have 15 sets of. I actually sold one of them to my mom's friend Linda, who was visiting. So I have 15 sets of them that I bought from the Dollar Tree a few years ago now for $1.25. And the only thing else significant as I rotate and we've got our flower set up and I bring out the next set, the only thing to note is that one of my coloring group people has the same set. She bought it in 2019-ish, and she was coloring with them and she couldn't get the color payout and she was really struggling. So we compared specifically her set of 50 to my set of 50. Same numbers, same names. Well, they don't have numbers, same names, same barrel colors, but they were very, very unpigmented. So just so you know, if you have an old set of Prangs, it's possible they have changed the formula, and today's Prangs are definitely better. So here's our next set. I have an extra pencil in here. These are the Derwent Lightfast. Some are sharpened, some aren't. I'm not going to bother to sharpen them, but I want to show you something really confusing to me. We have Midnight Blue 70% and Mid Blue 70%. And on my swatch, which I don't have here, they look the same. However, the tips are totally different. And ironically, the one on the right is called Midnight Blue, and it has a little bit of a green. If you look at the barrel, it has a little bit of a green tint to it. And it is definitely darker than Mid Blue. And the Mid Blue tip is darker, way darker than Midnight Blue. So go figure. Here is our full palette. We do have, because of the Derwent Lightfast line being 100% Lightfast, we do not have a pink. I had to pick the closest I could get, which is this heather color. And then magenta is the dark pink. So on my swatch, this is the most vibrant, pigmented colors of the first 5 sets that I'm working with today. And you know what? I actually did not use the copy paper. I did not color the final image. At this point, I was confident that everything was going to be working with my color choices and I wouldn't have to make any adjustments. So all I did was a little bit of a swatch on some Bristol vellum Nina scrap that I had. And that's how I noticed how vibrant. I'm not sure if I had actually colored this set of 3 flowers, would this have been as vibrant as I see? And it's possible that it would not, that it would be just as faint as the other 4 sets. So this particular set of pencils I've owned for many years. I actually have 2 sets of them. Well, 1 3/4. I had a 72 tin from way back in the day. Then they came out with another set, making the full set 100. And I found a really good deal on a wood box version from the Merry Artist in Oregon. So I bought it. I don't know what I was thinking. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, I have these in a tin, and then the box is actually sitting here as decorative, and these live in an open tote. So this is the magenta, and it so far is looking very different than the other images. Depending on time, I think I will have time, I will back out and show you the whole page. I'm using, so there's these little lines at the top of the corners of these petals. So I am using that as a prompt from the artist to add some darker color. We'll see how it looks when we mix in our lavender. We won't get our pink, sadly, because we don't have a pink. Moving on to the heather. Heather, not lavender. So this is going to look a little different. I'll be leaving some white like I did the others. So as far as a professional pencil, these are a little bit stickier than, say, the Luminance and the Polychromos. Of the 3, the Polychromos is the most silky. These are the least silky. The Pablos are not as Lightfast as those other sets, the Luminance, the Lightfast, and the Polychromos, but they are still a professional and very expensive pencil. They are my driest. I really love how they feel. It's a very different feeling. And I'm used to using them in conjunction with, mainly with Polychromos and only certain colors. And this is actually fantastic. I'm really liking this. Okay, so we actually have 3 flowers to color. I still can't believe that I forgot to move the camera for that second flower. Hate when I make mistakes. Especially silly ones like that. I know better. I'm using like heavy pressure, medium to heavy. Sort of like the Berol Prismacolor. To keep it from looking crayon-y, I need to smoosh the colors together. And I can still like get in there and just really mix the heather in with the, what is our color? Magenta. But I don't want to overdo it, as in take too much time. So now we've got our blues left. I'm going to set down these other 3. We have a very blunt Peridot blue. And then we have this mid blue 70% that we looked at, that I told you that the actual core is way darker than the midnight blue 70%. So I was struggling with deciding which one I was going to go with, trying to find the lightest option. The sky bluish color is actually too lavender, too purple for my purposes. I am so comfortable coloring with these. It's very nice. Oh, I see. And I want to add a little bit of the honey color, which is dark honey. And I think that this little bit of brown in all of these, on this page, on the leaves, and in the centers of the flowers, somewhere on the butterflies yet to be determined, is really going to make this an interesting page. because of the unique color. All right, that is all I'm going to do. I want to back out and have you guys look. If I had to pick a pencil set that I liked the best of the 5, I'm going to say this, what I just did here, these were fantastic. And then second best, I'm going to say the Brutfuner pastels were actually quite close. The color choices weren't as interesting, but they felt really lovely. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, I am going to back out. How far back out can we go? And then see if we can get all 5. Oh my gosh, look at that. I guess I never zoomed in moving the camera. I just zoomed using the lens. So there you have it, the first 5 down. Yay. So I hope you guys will join me tomorrow. Don't be afraid to join. Pick your own colors if you don't like my inspiration colors, and use whatever sets of pencils you've got. If you've only got one, just color along with me. The flowers, whatever sets you've got. And I hope to see you all there. Do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I'll see you then.